I'd like to call this meeting of the Southfield Board of Education to order. This meeting of the Southfield Board of Education is public for the purposes of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in agenda item number 7. With that, I'd like to ask Trustee Lewis to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Michael Poole. I'm the President of the Board of Education.
Mary Robinson, Vice President.
Yolanda Charles, Treasurer.
Brandon Williams, trustee.
Fannie Lewis, Trustee.
Gerald B. Joyce, trustee.
Ariel Ginyard, Southfield Lathrop, student rep.
Royal Bird, University, student rep.
Brianna Boyd, Southfield High School, student rep.
Linda Wood, Superintendent.
Hi, I'm Kate Dankovich, and I'm Associate Superintendent for Administrative Services.
Vicki Hall, Associate Superintendent of Human Resources.
I'm Derek Lopez. I'm the Associate Superintendent for Instruction and School Performance.
Okay, we also have from M1 Studios, Mike Madigan, Marlita Gamble, and Jeff Wolke. And taking notes for the public meeting would be Ms. Paulette Anderson and Nicole Christian. Board Trustee Secretary Leslie Love Smith is absent today due to illness. We wish her a speedy recovery. Item number 2, student staff recognition. Tonight, students from the Southfield Regional Academic Center have received a grand prize of $5,000 for winning a Made by Milk Cartons, a construction art contest. Principal Dwayne Eason is here with more information.
Good evening, Dr. Wood, cabinet members and board members.
Good evening.
Well, I first wanted to say, when I saw our project, and actually Mrs. McNeese, our art teacher, is going to explain the project, but when I saw the project being built, the first thing I used to tell the kids was, go back into the lunchroom and take those milk cartons back. I didn't have the vision, and Ms. McNeese kind of kept it to herself what she was doing, but when I started seeing it come together, all I could say was, wow. And so far, that's what I see everyone else saying when they see it. Wow. It was a tremendous effort. Our students and I was hoping that they were going to be here because I really wanted them to just know how much we appreciate everything that they did. But I'm going to turn this over to Ms. McNeese so she can explain it to you. And I know she wants to show this, but we have to say wow again.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Some of my kids might come in for their congratulations after the presentation, and I'm just so proud of them. This is their work. This project came about because at SREC, we are the alternative high school in Southfield, and our mission is to bring to the kids an education that's an alternative way of learning, an alternative way of thinking. Sometimes our kids need extra help. Sometimes they need an extra project for their credit. And it's my job as the art instructor to give them lots of opportunities. And this project came to my students who are above the norm, above the average, who are going to art school, who are pushing their portfolios. And I have 3 students that are applying to art schools, and 2 of them went to the Art Institute of Novi this past weekend for interviews and to look at their projects, and this was included in their portfolios, I'm very proud to say. And one of the students is going into culinary arts, which is part of the arts, and one student is one of my alpha females who just wanted to collect milk cartons and thought that was a great job for her to do. And she participated in that way and glued some cartons on, but it was her mission to make sure everybody else SRAC drank their milk that day. And with the Made by Milk contest in the fall of 2015, the theme was create an animal. And when I presented this to the 4 main students out of the 5, actually all of them, they came to the conclusion that by putting together some cartons, and I see one of my students, Mr. Dwayne, come forward, come up. Stand next to your alligator, huh? There you go. And when we put all the cartons together, it was very obvious that it formed a pattern. And we looked at it, and it's very reptilian when you put the milk cartons together. So with a little encouragement, they decided on 3 big giant alligators. And of course we made one because after 2 months of building one, they decided that that was enough. And the tail curves up, and let me tell you that that was my design. The kids vehemently told me that alligators' tails were not designed that way and they were not going to build it, but because I'm the boss, I told them to put it up. And of course, as a design flaw, it cracked and fell apart. It was just terrible. But the milk people loved that the tail went up, so I got to put that on my list of that didn't, it's okay. And then they really worked hard. I went to Michael's and spent $40 just on hot glue sticks. And they hot glued literally for 2 months. And Trinity collected all the cartons. We rinsed them all out. And they built a cardboard armature and glued and glued and glued and glued and glued. And once it started to happen, and once it started to be built, and we designed it in 3 sections. And it was just really exciting seeing the process, seeing it built out of recycled materials, seeing that all the materials besides the hot glue were free. And that they really can, once they set their minds to something impossible, like winning a national competition on sculpture. And I said, we can do it. And as they were building it and as it was coming together, they said, you know, we're going to win. You know, McNeese, we got this in the bag. And sure enough, after we spray painted it, it just was magical. And I'd like to introduce my student, Dwayne Johnson, just to introduce himself, where he wants to go to school, and who he brought with him, and just something about the alligator.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Johnson. Next year I'll be attending the Art Institute of Michigan, and I'll be majoring in media arts. And I brought my mom with me. The alligator was pretty frustrating. The hot glue was pretty painful. But other than that, I had fun working with people that I put this sculpture together with, and I won $5 million.
Thank you. I just wanted to speak on the other students that are not here. And the other 3 students are Torian Barnes, Jasmine Washington, and Trinity Carter.
And Maurice Rugley.
And Maurice Rugley, I'm sorry. So I just wanted to make sure that I recognize them because they have done a lot for us. We have our $5,000 here, and it's going to help supply our art department. It's also going to help us to put together a reading center in one of our courtyards at the school. We have a really nice courtyard in the middle of the school, and we're going to actually just build nice reading centers so that the kids, when they are finished eating their lunches or things like that, they can go and sit down and read. So again, I thank them, and thank you all.
gonna do with the big alligator afterwards? Big alligator.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I did forget to mention the dairy company that sponsored the contest. They actually asked if we would donate the alligator to them. They want the alligator so that they can put it in their foyer. They're going to put a plaque up with our students' names and our student school, and it is going to sit in their foyer so that everyone can see. They have also donated a ice cream social for the whole school, for the entire school. So
Very nice.
Thank Ms. McNeese for her vision. She has been phenomenal ever since she started working with public school. I remember when she was first hired, and she hit the floor running with innovative ideas, and we so appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is Miss Tiffany Hackworth, someone I know. She's an instructor at University High School Academy. This doesn't surprise me. She's received the 2016 Engineering Society of Detroit Outstanding Future City Teacher of the Year Award. Ms. Hackworth will share more information with us. Congratulations.
Well, good evening, all. I'm not much for talking on all this. I can't talk, but I want to get to dignitaries and things like that. I don't want to miss anybody. But good evening, all. I am a teacher. I can perform for you all. I know how to adjust to the climate. But certainly, it is without the students, I wouldn't be here today. They definitely encouraged me. They definitely stretched me. So I can't say that I'm standing here without them pushing me. I see one of them over here, and I see several of my parents. I'm not going to point any names or fingers, but thank you for allowing me to instruct you and allowing me to instruct your students. I don't want to get too much into this, but I will say that it was one of those days I shared with Jacqueline that I walked in. It was one of those days I'm ready to just be done. I need a day. And I walked in, and as far as Future City had come up, they sent me an email. And where's Dr. Lopez? Dr. Lopez was walking by, and I said, oh my Lord, I look what came across my mail. I was so excited because it was one of these days I really wanted, we don't have them. So don't judge me. I was ready to have a break, and when it came across my email that I didn't even know I was in the running. I didn't know that it was happening or anything. So for me, it just encouraged me even more. And the day of the competition, 2 of our 3 teams won awards. So when I drove back, Ms. Williams, for those that don't know, that's my boss, dean of students. She said, did you check your email? I'm like, oh, please, not an email I have to return back to parents. She said, you got teacher of the month for the district. I said, what? Are you kidding? So thank you all for considering me. Thank you all for nominating. I like to thank my parents and students because I didn't even know that this was happening. So I don't know what else, other questions that you all may have if you haven't, but thank you. I just appreciate being thought of because sometimes we take for granted that somebody can be nice to you. And people don't have to think about you. You know, to say thank you, to appreciate you, that goes a long way. It's just a push, even when we high five our kids, it may seem kindergarten-y or not, but we all want to hear a job well done every now and again. So I just appreciate you all remembering me. So thank you with that. I don't know if you need anything else or here we go. Be last.
No, Tiffany, I really want you to stay right there. And I just wanted to also add that you have been a phenomenal teacher ever since I have known you in this district. And your ability to relate to the children and for them to relate to you. The fact that you are their teacher, but they can also be inspired by you. That they can look up to you and that they can learn more than just the content of engineering and STEM, but about life, and you lift them in that way. And because of that, as you already know, we would like to just congratulate you again for being Southfield's Teacher of the Month.
Thank you.
And we have a video that we'd like to share about Tiffany Hackworth.
I like being Miss Hackworth's class. She's just so energetic when she teaches. Miss Hackworth, I just love her. Miss Hackworth is just an extraordinary person. She has a lot on her plate, considering that she is the sponsor for NASB, which I am in, and she has a full class load.
As a coworker, she will always lend a helping hand. My entire first year, I was in her room daily. She was helping me go through my lesson plans, go through my strategies, ideas that I had.
She likes to help with her kids a lot. So if we're in class and we need help understanding something, she'll give us a demonstration, and then we have to do the demonstration back to her, so we know what she just said. So make sure we get a better understanding.
You can tell when they've had Tiffany for a geometry teacher. You just come in knowing what to do, how to act, how to talk to each other.
Ms. Howard is very encouraging. You know, she allows the kids to express themselves, but respectfully.
She is my sister friend, colleague, supportive. She is willing to take a class, cover a prep, whatever she needs to do.
How I felt about finding out that I was the Engineering Society of Detroit's Teacher of the Year 2016. I was elated, to say the least. I think teaching chose me. I've always been a mentor, coach, and tutor, even when I was with my peers or with my younger cousins. I look back now and say, well, if I had paid attention, I would have known. So it's always been with me. So I knew that I wanted to be in the classroom once I got that certification, and I transitioned from elementary, because that's where I started, to middle school, and the kids were it was done, and I got that cert, and I knew it. So it was in that process of getting the master's and the cert that I wasn't going back. And then my philosophy of teaching is you need to have a connection. If I know your heart, I can do more for you, produce more for you. I remember when I decided to ask students, you know, would you mind answering, would you mind, thank you very much for doing this. I try to just please and thank you. I just feel like respect is huge. It goes along with little kids, middle school, and such. When you have that love, that compassion amongst one another, I tell them they're a family, they're a team. That connection helps build a community. People want to be appreciated. I do tell them good morning, good afternoon, hope you're having a great day, or have a great day. Then I have a conversation with them. If it's a Monday, how was the weekend, what you guys do? And then as I'm doing that, I'm taking attendance, they're writing down their cuts, and then, all right, next one, 4X plus 5. Oh, I've had students say, you know, I can't stand this subject, but I perform only because you just make somebody want to do this. So I'm going to do this assignment. I love that spark when I see the kids get it. That was just, I don't say addictive, but it was rather exciting. I'll just say that.
Tiffany, thank you so much for helping me through not only my first year, but you continue to help me every year grow as a professional and as a teacher, and you've made me love the teaching profession.
You're a good teacher, and I hope that you continue teaching. Thank you for believing in me and being there when I really didn't have anybody to talk to, and letting me know that I could always express myself to her.
I would like to say thank you, Ms. Hackworth, and the University Academy for being my village, for helping make Brente a strong individual.
Congratulations. It's so well deserved for all the hard work, for all the late nights, for her days at 9 p.m. at night, the phone calls. It's all worth it.
In the end of the day, we all need love. In the end of the day, I don't remember what you taught me. I remember how you treated me. And we need to remember that, because that's what's going to last.
So, Tiffany, again, on behalf of Southfield Public Schools, the Board of Education, we present you, again, Teacher of the Month. And we just know that you will continue to touch and inspire children for now and until the future as you continue to be here with us. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you all.
remember when she had this, we go to PTA meetings, and she would have this, what do you call those glass, hourglass. She said, you only have so much time, Mr. Williams, and the other parents. But she kept us on task, which I understand. It's like she does with her students and everyone else. She kept parents on task.
Thanks, Trustee Williams. Also, she had my daughter as well, and I've run into her at PTA meetings, national conferences, state conferences, at neighborhood student graduations, and personally. So, without a doubt, Ms. Hackworth, thank you for all you do. And it's always, they may not remember what she taught them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. That's right. So we appreciate you, Ms. Hackworth. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda would be the report of the student board representatives, and we're going to start with Ms. Brianna Boyd, Southfield High School.
Hello to the Board of Education, Superintendent, Administrators, staff members, and community. My name is Brianna Boyd, and here's your Blue Jay report. Southfield High School congratulates all 386 students that made the second card marking honor roll. The largest group was the class of 2017 with 122 out of 267 students having above a 3.0 GPA. The card marking and semester honor roll numbers will be here soon. Speaking of honor roll, Southfield High School made the NFL Super Bowl honor roll. Class of 2002 graduate Gabe Watson played in Super Bowl 43, and through his contribution of the NFL placed SHS on his distinguished list. This honor is a celebration of all players that have played in a Super Bowl and the support given to them in their development at their high school. Southfield High received a gold commemorative ball and a personal letter from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell for the activity. On December 18th, the Southfield Blue Jays wrestling team hosted day one of the Oakland County Wrestling Tournament. This is the largest non-state championship wrestling tournament in the country, spanning over 2 days at 2 locations. Jake Brock became the 16th Blue Jay wrestler since 1996 to place at the tournament and become all Oakland County in wrestling. Southfield Wrestling also concluded this week, scheduled recently with a 5th place finish in the league and 3 individual league championships. Kimante Simons, Jake Brock, and Max Duggan. Thank you to Myers for donating $500 to Southfield High. The $500 will be used to purchase iPads for the students in need. Speaking of iPads, Southfield High School's principal, Sonia Jackson, gave 15 students in need of technology iPads. These iPads were donated by Optimal Care Inc. of Bingham Farms. Students were recommended by staff members that were in need of technology at home and didn't have the resources. Thank you for your work for us, Ms. Jackson. Southfield's Lady Jays are playing some basketball. The Lady Jays opened up the season 12-0 with big tournament wins during the holiday break. The Lady Jays now turn to league play to defend their OAA league title. The Lady Jays are now 14-1, and their long setback being to crosstown rival SL. The boys basketball team is also doing wonderful. The Blue Jays are now 8-7, led by some outstanding contributions from junior Michael Flowers, who is averaging 30 points this season. The Jays also closed out the rivalry with SL with a resounding 63-37 win. Keep up the good work, Jays. The Southfield competitive cheer team has been working hard all winter and now gets a chance to show their spirit. The competition cheer team came in first place at their most recent competition at Royal Oak High School. Keep up good work and good luck, ladies. The National Honor Society induction ceremony will be held this Thursday, February 11th. All new members will be acknowledged and will receive their pins. The ceremony will be at 9 a.m. Southfield High School's Man Up is doing a water drive for the Flint water crisis. Anyone is welcome to donate. I would like to thank you again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to represent my school to the Board of Education, and it is an honor and privilege to serve in this capacity. Let's go Southfield, where Blue Jays soar.
Next, we'll hear from Royal Bird from the University High School Academy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Royal Bird, and I am going to give the Eagle report for UHSA and UPrep. So we would first like to start off congratulating our 2016 PTA Founders Day recipients, UHSA Science Instructor Dr. Sandy Berg, along with Class of 2016 Mom, Mrs. Gina Gallant. Thank you both for your contributions to our learning community. Lyndon Defoe, Class of 2017 Junior, competed in the Poetry Out Loud competition at Martin Luther King High School. He won the competition, and now he has advanced to the state competition. Again, Miss Tiffany Hapworth was named the 2016 Future Cities Teacher of the Year for her unwavering support of our students who competed in the Future Cities competition. In addition, Ms. Hackworth has been named the Southfield Public Schools Teacher of the Month for January, and Ms. Hackworth was also my geometry teacher, and I still love Ms. Hackworth. They should have had me speak in the little thing. That would have. I mean, Ms. Hackworth already knows. I tell her every day. I go in there and talk to her too. Moving on. The debate team competed in the Detroit Urban League debate tournament on Friday, January 22nd and Saturday, January 23rd at Wayne State University. Both teams advanced to the novice quarterfinals, with Lyndon Defoe and Layla Howard winning 4 out of their 4 debates, and Raymond Mitchell and Jolena Chiangong also winning 4 out of their 4 debates. Each pair also won the quarterfinals to advance to the semifinals. Layla and Lyndon were eliminated in the semifinals, placing 3rd overall. But Jolena and Raymond advanced to the finals against University Prep, and after debating for 10 hours of straight debating, Jolena and Raymond took home 1st place. And additionally, 3 of our 4 debaters won speaker awards, coming in 3rd, 4th, and 10th place. The debate team will also compete on March 11th and March 12th for the Detroit Urban Debate League Championship. Jolena Chiangong also took 1st place in her solo ensemble for MSBOA, where she earned a blue medal. Once again, our very own Mr. Mark Trexler has been invited to score advanced placement United States history examinations in June by the College Board. We are proud to have representation with the College Board. Congratulations to our Assistant Dean, Harry Patton. Mr. Patton has been nominated as the 2015-16 Life Changer of the Year. In the near future, Dean said that we will get more information, asking you for your support. February 10th, tomorrow, is the National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony at Michigan First, and the talent show is on February 26th. Our student versus student basketball game is this Friday, February 12th, supporting the class of 2016. 15 members from UHSA Stuco are volunteering at United Way of Southeastern Michigan on February 16th to help children in early childhood. UHSA is also holding a Jeans for Teens clothing drive that will run through Friday, February 12th, with all jeans that are donated going to adolescents who don't have jeans, or Also, every Monday of February, the school highlights 2 Black influential leaders in the UHSA announcements for Black History Month. In seminar, students are also creating and designing their own Black History posters, which will feature a Black History leader or Black History movement. The posters will be presented at our upcoming Black History Month assembly. And lastly, May 14th, again, is our 5K. I've been asked to reiterate this. So May 14th, again, is our 5K. And you can go on active.com to register. And when you go on active.com, just type in UHSA 5K and it'll take you right to the registration page while registration is still available. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Byrd. Next, we'll hear from Ariel Jr. from Southfield Lathrop High School.
Good evening to the board members and the entire community of Southfield and Lathrop Village. The Southfield Lathrop Student Congress is continuing to plan their charity week to raise money for the Special Olympics, as well as preparing for regional conference and community service events. They have also started a Valentine's Day campaign where they're selling treats. They're selling chocolate covered strawberries, chocolate covered cake pops, and pretzels. The National Honor Society is preparing for the Academic Heroes Assembly at Adler. This is for NHS-bound students and they plan on doing academic Olympics. And this is for 4th and 5th grade students this Thursday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. just to encourage them to stay on track with their grades. They also may be extending their collection for the for Operation Gratitude, which is gathering snacks for the military, and they are preparing for regionals February 26th. Their presentation will be the Academic Heroes Assembly with hopes for selection for states. They are planning a trip to Traverse City from April 16th through the 18th with Student Congress students for MASC and MAHS as a leadership conference. Their Random Act of Kindness or RAP teams are working on diversity activities with the senior citizens and preparing for staff appreciation. And thank you. That concludes your charge report.
Just like to mention that Ms. Spears from the Southfield Regional Academic Center is out ill today, and we want to wish her a speedy recovery and hope to see her at the next board meeting in March. Next, we'll have the report from the superintendent.
Thank you, Board President. As I sit here in the audience and I reflect on our student reps here and I look across the room at our alligator and I look at the artwork that is here in the boardroom and I think about our Teacher of the Month. Teachers make the difference. And I just wanted to celebrate our teachers and to let everyone know how important they are and how we wish to treasure them. And with that said, I wanted to also make note that your principal, Mrs. Williams, or Miss Williams, I should say, I was in Chicago yesterday, and I came back today for the board meeting, of course. But she and Mr. Patton and Ms. Polly Szynski did a tremendous presentation board on the use of Khan Academy, which is more than just test prep. And so I just wanted to share to all of you how our staff is going across, sharing the work. And I was in the room with probably 200 people, and they were just eagerly looking to see what we're doing here in Southfield Public Schools as a sense of excellence and moving forward. Something else that I wanted to share with the community and also the board, that on January 30th, we had coffee and conversation in this room. And it is always a tremendous opportunity for me to learn from our community, from our parents, from our staff, and to engage in conversation that I can update and we can learn together. And again, I had a fabulous and wonderful opportunity to do that. Many topics were addressed. Topics such as suspensions, topics such as information for parents, topics such as how do we move achievement forward. And so I invite our community and I invite all of our parents that as I continually have these coffee and conversations, particularly for the next several months,
It is an opportunity for us to learn, to grow, to be informed, and for me to provide the insight, particularly with the changes going on in the district. And I wanted to make sure that we were aware of that, and I want you to join me. We are all so concerned about Flint, and I wanted to just say that Southfield Public Schools has also been engaged in a water drive, and we have one huge bus load of water that we're going to be taking to Flint probably Thursday of this week. And I'm just so proud of all of our efforts, our schools and well as the district, to help a community that is truly in need. And I wanted you to know what we're doing here in the district. Now, as we move forward before our next board meeting, would you please put up the slide about Revolution Read? Revolution Read will be held on March 1st of this year. It's going to be a Tuesday, and I tell you, it is an exciting day. I'm not sure what character I will be. We have had Little Miss Riding Hood. We have had all kinds of characters. The adults and the children dress up. The old woman in the shoe last year got me, because she really was dressed like the old woman and had a slew of kids, and they lived in a shoe. But what an exciting opportunity to make the love of reading come alive for our children. And so I invite our parents, I invite our community, I invite our board to join us as a celebrity reader, but to partake in your neighborhood school just to see how our kids are becoming and making various stories come alive. You might even see the Cat in the Hat. That might be the one that I'll be this year. But in any event, all is well, an exciting day.
I kind of like the guy with
Which
the
way?
white stripe on the chain.
Wait a minute. Oh, I get that. All right. The next thing that I wanted to update the community is many of you should have received a flyer in your mail that says Introducing MacArthur University's Accelerated Kindergarten Experience. And the reason I'm highlighting it is because I'd like to invite our parents, our community, to an information session that will be held February the 11th, and it's going to be at the Michigan First Credit Union. And you say, what is this about? Well, first of all, we know that many of our children are coming to school not just kindergarten ready, first grade ready. And we have to respond to those needs of our children. And so one of the things that we're doing is providing another opportunity for children who are ready to be stretched. And so I want parents and community and all who are interested to come to Michigan First, where we will provide an overview, to provide you with information from early childhood specialists, as well as a vision from myself of how we would like to push and stretch our children who are moving into the kindergarten year with the culture of kindergarten students and stretching their learning experience. And Board President, that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wood.
Hold on, I'm so sorry. To the cabinet. Yes, please.
Items for the Business and Finance Officer on the consent agenda.
Good evening. The personnel action report is contained within the consent agenda for approval.
Good evening, board, members of the community. So for our report this evening, we have two reports from folk in the division who have done exciting programs for our community over the last couple of weeks. So first we're going to hear about Scholastic Aptitude Night from Jennifer Banks, who is one of our PD facilitators in the district. So Jennifer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
To the board, to cabinet, to everyone here. It's a pleasure to speak to you about our Saturday, our SAT parent orientation meeting that took place last Tuesday at the Southfield Commons, Southfield High School Commons. We had approximately 150 people attend, that's including students, so it was very well attended, and food was provided. The goal of the meeting was to provide parents with children in grades 8 through 11 with some useful tips in preparing their child for college, as well as to give them
a general overview on helping your child with school, homework help, looking at your child's schedule, little useful tips to help parents. What was discussed? We encourage parents to talk about college with their children. What areas of study are they currently interested in? What colleges do they want to go to? What are the expectations of those colleges? We suggested that parents reinforce concepts at home with things such as Khan Academy, coolmath.com, and other online reinforcement tools. And then we also encourage parents to be actively involved in helping their child choose classes, particularly at the high school level, so that their child is prepared for whatever college they're planning to attend. And then we had a special presentation by Mark Mayberry, who is the CEO of Exam Experts. They discussed the key aspects of a new ACT, some overall test-taking strategies that can be applied to all standardized tests. And they also discussed their programs they're going to be offering in the upcoming weeks. So the boot camp, it's what they're calling the SAT boot camp, will be offered to students in grades 10th and 11th grade. It will take place at University High School, and there are 2 sessions being offered, and the cost is towards families for a cost of $125 per session. The sessions involve 4 days, and they are 3 hours long. The first one begins on February 23rd and continues through March 3rd. And then there's an online access. There's also a link on the Southfield Public Schools website as of today under Spotlight, where parents can also register their child. The second session begins on March 12th and continues through April 9th. This session is held on Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. through 11:30 a.m. So to provide a couple of different options, and there's also the site for that. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that supported the event. I think it was very successful. Are there any questions?
I saw one thing on there that was pleasing, which, I mean, everything was pleasing, forgive me. That it starts at 3:30, which I imagine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Wood, is allowing for a little downtime after school, but they don't necessarily have to leave the campus. And what about once 6:30 arrives? Are they typically of age where they're driving, or?
Either that or there's someone that will pick them up.
Okay, good, great. I just like the idea that it's at least the first leg of it. They don't have to do any commuting.
Yes, very good. We appreciate that too.
Thank you.
So thank you, Jennifer. And the second report this evening will be given by Al Medine, who is our Director of K-8 Education. She's going to talk about the Advanced Placement Prep Program that took place this past week. So, Al Medine.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Dr. Wood, Cabinet, and the Southfield Public Schools community. I have the pleasure of talking to you about our AP Prep District Day that took place Tuesday, February 2nd, and Wednesday, February 3rd. That's not part of my presentation. Oops. Okay. We had approximately 250 first through 8th grade students who are in our advanced placement program. Our AP program is a program designed for students kindergarten through 8th grade who have demonstrated some giftedness or some above grade level in either and or math and ELA. We have programming for them that takes place at the classroom level, building level, and district, and this was one of the district events. So on February 2nd, we had 1st through 4th grade there, and these are some of the offerings that they had. Big Deal Bill, Right on Writing, Pasta Punctuation, Coding is Cool, and Math in 3D. Let's try this again. And you can see some of the children taking part of the Math is 3D. They're building 3D structures. This is the coding class that the children were extremely excited about, very engaged. And then they they had a morning session, lunch, and then an afternoon session. And I have to stop right here, because this young lady, she was so sweet. We had planned this full event, weeks, months. And so I had the schedule on the board, everything was going well, the children were eating lunch, and this young lady looks up at me and she says, Mrs. Dean, I'm having a good time, but what about recess? I said, really? And she said, yeah, I don't see recess on the board. And I said, well, I didn't plan for recess this time. And because she's a sweetie pie, she says, oh, okay. And I was immediately convicted. So I ran and I told the teachers, I said, guys, we got to get our coats, hats, and gloves, and we have to take these kids out for recess. So this is the basis. She just reminded me that no matter how much planning you do, you always have to check with your client. And at the end of the day, when I asked the kids, I'm like, did you have fun today? Yeah, that playscape was so cool. I'm like, really? It reminds me of when you buy the kid the toy and they love the box more than the toy. Yeah, they play with it. But it was good. It was good first day. So that's our children again at lunch. This is our, wait, we're going back. Is that me?
Yes.
I'm sorry. This is our second day. So playing with me. So this is our second day. We had 5th through 8th grade there, and these were the activities that they had to choose from. We had some of our university high school engineering students there to help out with them too, so that was an incredible treat for the young people, the middle school students in particular. I called on everyone to teach a session, and it was really exciting. So I really want to thank our collaborative partners in the district. Durham Transportation made sure the children were picked up and dropped off safely. I also want to thank our Instructional Technology Center because we had wireless internet everywhere in that building, so that was fabulous. Chartwell's provided lunch for the children who didn't have it, and our Buildings and Grounds Department made sure Eisenhower was warm and inviting. But I really, really, really want to thank the board and the superintendent, Mr. Lopez and cabinet, because even in the midst of us planning for Imagine 2020, which is going to yield a lot of exciting things, we are still focused on giving our children the quality programs that they deserve this year. So even though we're planning for next year, we're still deeply committed to this year. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of a team that realizes how important right now is. So, any questions? Well, thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So one last announcement, as Ms. Dean referred to, this year we're planning for Imagine 2020, and so next year at the Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology, we are now registering students for the upcoming year, and on March the 2nd, we are going to have our first Advanced Studies Night in the Southfield Commons to talk about the combination of advanced placement courses and international baccalaureate courses that will be in place at Southfield A&T, as well as talk about the dual enrollment program that we have in the district that many of our school students take advantage of. And so put that on your calendar, March 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. in Southfield, at Southfield High School on the campus there, and we'll be talking about advanced studies. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lopez. Next, we'll have the Head Start report from Mrs. Yolanda Smith-Charles.
Thank you. So, as you know, this is the director's report for the month of January. Janice Hill, director. We have, for enrollment, 216 students currently enrolled, 167 on the waiting list, and 30 drops. There was an average ADA for Head Start of 83%, a little over 83%. And for GSRP, 91.55%. And I continue to not congratulate, but just to encourage those GSRP students to keep it up. What a great tradition of attendance. I like to see that. You can see the breakdown with regards to how classrooms started and how they kind of segued into the new year. I did ask Ms. Hill if there was anything she'd like me to share with the community about some of those very low, I won't even shout out any of those classrooms where it's double red, where you were low last month and you're low again. But Ms. Hill did say, of course, the weather does play a role, and she's put some practices in place to help encourage kids to encourage parents to take them to school. including incentives where the child gets a star, and if they don't, they get an X, so they go home and they say, I don't want an X, I want to go to school, I want to get a star. So little things like that, great concept. For Child Adult Care Food Program, meals served for the month of January, 2,378, 2,596 lunch, and 2,493 snacks. With regards to personnel, we were able to hire 2 GSRP professionals, teachers in the Blue Dog and the Brown Bear room, and still have yet to fill that one little Head Start teacher vacancy. So, spread the word that there's a vacancy there. With regards to health updates, you can see that the 2 children who need hearing screenings are on there. I did ask Ms. Hill about that just because I noticed it was on there previously, and she did mention that during the enrollment fair, April 29th, there'll be more activity with regards to that. With our 24 children who have individual education plans, there are 17 with the Head Start designation, 6 in GSRP. There are 0 speech referrals that have been submitted and 0 mental health referrals since we last reported. For the 5-year strategic plan and self-assessment, and also on there, I believe there's also an advanced ed piece, which just says that we're currently meeting goals with regards to the 5-year strategic plan. We are, with regards to self-assessment, right in the midst of it. Mr. Joyce and Mrs. Robinson, myself, and many others are all participating in that. And then advanced ed is the internal review. The district accreditation will be conducted on March 10th at Bussey. Water for Flint, with the GSRP program, Bussey is currently collecting water for one of the GSRP programs in Flint, and they will deliver that water to that program the week of February 8th. The children in the chick room were able to Skype with children in Germany via Skype, I said that, with other kindergartners. And something of interest is that the children in Germany, kindergarten age, is the same of our preschoolers. So I guess you can figure that out later. It's too long of a day for me to, but children in Germany, kindergarten age of are the same age as our preschoolers. So with regards to in-kind, I'll leave that to the slide with the money. You can see that there are upcoming events all there with the fire drill, very important, tornado drill last week, family engagement, partnership that occurred, father-daughter dance February 11th, and you can see the rest of them, particularly Cultural Day on the 25th. With regards to financials, didn't leave myself a note here, but it's the same as it was before. They're the breakdown of the pie chart. Thank you, Ms. Stankovich. The next slide shows the budget results, federal-wise, in terms of what the federal government provides. You can see the breakdown of salaries, and you can also see what we have in terms of the percent spent, and we are right on par with where we ought to be. The in-kind piece, which is great importance, is with regards to our parents, our community, and of course the school district. So Bussey met with several families the last 2 weeks to discuss their volunteer hours. There are many ways to volunteer, and I just wanted to make sure I shared this with the community, well, really parents. The link sheets, the cozy reading corners, the classroom visits, the office visits, when you're doing any kind of meetings, family engagement, and special events. Those all contribute to that dollar amount of working budget and what the balance remaining is. So we definitely don't want to leave our children with less because we weren't able to volunteer just a wee bit more. And I believe that's the last slide, which concludes the, let's see. And of course, I'll, Mr. Joyce, Mrs. Robinson, maybe in March, you might want to share what your experience was with the self-assessment at your pleasure.
Sure. Okay, thank you, Ms. Charles. The following items are action items. We're on agenda action item number 5. And these are items requiring action by the board. I'd like to ask for a motion to open consent agenda report number 5448.
We open consent agenda report 5448.
Support. Properly moved and supported. Dr. Wood.
Certainly. The personnel action report is included in there, and the regular board meetings. And so.
Any discussion?
No, minutes.
Any discussion, questions? Hearing none.
Is this report 5447?
5448.
Oh, okay, 5448.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Sure. Myself, yes. Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Unanimous with 6.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to open report number 5449, recommendation to approve the reconditioning and/or purchase of athletic uniforms for Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology.
I want to open the report 5449. Support.
Been properly moved and supported. Any discussion?
I had a question that I meant to ask and maybe forgot, and just want to be clear. Do we get to, the board members get to see the final, because I'm going to be honest, I was excited when I heard the athletic director speak about Nike and Adidas and all those wonderful companies presenting to Southfield Public Schools, and I feel like the world is our oyster. I see Oregon with wonderful uniforms and wonderful things like that. So I just wondered, do we get to see that prior to a final?
Absolutely, I will bring that to you. But even before we order our uniforms, I also will be bringing a professional version of our mascot. Those things will be forthcoming. Mr. Lopez, would you like to add anything else to that? Yeah, and so yes, it is my greatest desire to make sure that you see those final versions.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. Madam Treasurer, call for the vote.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Poole?
Yes.
6 with you, unanimous with 6 votes.
I call for a motion to open report number 5450, Judson Center lease agreement.
I'll move to open report 5450, Justin Center Inc. lease agreement.
Support. Properly moved and supported. Any discussion?
Certainly. Actually, I'll turn it over to Kate, who has been supporting that process.
Yes. In the past several years, the Judson Center from Royal Oak has used the property at Eisenhower School for a summer program supporting some special needs children. And they would like to continue to do that this coming summer as well. And so it is recommended that we approve or authorize the superintendent to continue on with that lease, and that revenue would go into our general fund.
Okay, that's approximately how much in revenue?
$17,500 for basically 3 months' use.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Joyce?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a motion to open report number 5451, purchase agreement for Shanos Elementary School.
Move to open report number 5451, purchase agreement for Shane Elementary School.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. Any discussion?
I just have one statement I'd like to make. I want to point out that I support the transaction here between Southfield Public Schools and our business partners. And I think that it's a good thing that we give back to those who give to us. And I support this. I think that this is a good step towards dissolving some of our debt.
Thank you for that comment, Trustee Lewis. Any other questions, concerns, comments?
I think it's appropriate, maybe I wear my treasurer hat, that the community is aware that really nothing we do at this table we take lightly. Certainly not letting go of real estate, where we know the market and we know competition in education. So we undertake these type of things with a lot of thought, preparation, going back, asking more questions with a lot of due diligence. So I don't want you to think that what you may see tonight shares that we're not paying attention. By no means. Let me just be clear. We are doing what's best for Southfield Public Schools as a whole. So.
We've gone back and forth with our agent that's been working, Matt Moran's been working very close with us, making sure the terms and conditions are solid, and the net proceeds that this district will receive will help us to move forward, to also move us forward for the implementation of the Management 2020. So once again, like Trustee Charles said, we put a lot of time and effort that we just didn't tonight. We had a meeting prior to this meeting talking about what we're going to do. We look forward to an opportunity that is going to help us to move forward, and an opportunity that we give it to Shameless as well, and the people who are individuals who are purchasing Shameless. Believe me, we're trying to make sure where we can that we do not have someone else coming out back door competition with us. Let's leave it at that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Williams, for those comments, and thank you, Treasurer Charles, for those comments. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Madam Treasurer, call for the vote.
Trustee Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson. Yes. Trustee Joyce.
Yes.
Trustee Poole.
Yes.
Votes are yes.
Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, the following are informational items only and does not require action from the board. But Dr. Wood, is there anything you'd like to say?
In terms of the closure.
Okay.
This is something that we definitely use in our district and everything else.
I have something. Yeah. So just because I was unaware, and I feel like a lot of times we are unaware as a voting body in the state of Michigan, not in terms of the city of Southfield, but the powers that be have this thing called UAL, Standards for Unfunded Actuarial Accrued Liability. And as I said, this is not my lane at all, but I wanted to make sure that you know what that means.
You're doing good.
Is that more technically, it's a shortfall between what is potentially owed to retirees compared to what the project's future value is of current assets currently held to fund them. So I found that very interesting, but really disappointing. We're a public school. We are not making widgets where we can just add 10,000 more to the line. You know, this is money that we need. And the reason I bring that up is because if we go to that next page, I mean, I think we've sent the state of Michigan a little over $1 million in the last 30 days. It makes me want to puke. You can quote me. It's just quite disappointing. Yeah, the next one, I think. So you see all of those UALs. That's a lot of money. And so I don't want that to be glazed over by the community by any means. And so that was really the only thing that I wanted to point out with this particular report, because it's not us paying teachers, you know, hand to hand. It's something for a rainy day. It's unfortunate that we have to be the bearer of that.
And that it has increased over the last several years, and it's an unfunded expectation that we have to do. We don't have any choice in the matter, and it's been said several times that when someone like myself first started, a district may have paid 3 or 4, maybe 5%. Now it's over 30, right at 30% that we have to pay for a mandate, and so we have no choice in the matter.
And the government is good at issuing unfunded mandates. Okay. Treasurer,
So many schools are closing.
Yes.
And what are they doing with all the money they're sending to them? If they're collecting all this money, why are so many schools going bankrupt? It just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully, if there's a petition in the neighborhood to recall a certain person, so if you'd like to sign that petition, by all means do so. I certainly will be.
Thank you, Trustee Robinson. Trustee Charles, would you read to the community the total disbursement for the month?
Sure. I want to fumble around. Well, I can. I'm going to give them the grand total. Is it on the first page? That's what I'm told. Yeah. $9,327,381.18.
Yeah, that's 1 month. All right. Okay. Anything else? Moving on to public participation. And only those persons with concerns related to school matters may participate during the public participation portion of this meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will listen to comments but may not respond during the meeting. Comments may be referred to an administrator or the superintendent for follow-up. As a matter of fairness, speakers with complaints against individuals are asked not to mention persons by name. Complaints concerning employees should be brought to the attention of the school principals or other administrators before coming to the board. Your cooperation is appreciated. Our first person will be Christopher Harris. And Mr. Harris, when you come to the podium, give us your name and address.
My name is Christopher Harris. Address is 24001 Geneva, and that's in Oak Park, Michigan, 48237.
Okay, give us your comment.
As a coach for the Southfield Jayhawks, my team practices behind brace. And as I was visiting one of my players today, I was approached by a gentleman. He gave my word that I would be here, so please excuse the attire. And it's not willful ignorance to what's going on. I would just like to know if brace does close and if the land is sold as I was told it's supposed to be, are we still allowed to utilize the field behind the school, or will we have to meet with someone else and draw up some kind of agreement to have somewhere to practice?
At this juncture, the property has not been sold, and we do not have plans at this juncture. We're not moving forward as we have been with Shano's. So as you have done in the past, there would be a community use process, and you would contact Vicki Hall's office, and arrangements can be made for that. Should something happen in the future, as with all of our property, would still go through community use, and a facility and site for the program to exercise the athletic programming would still be available.
I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Mr. Tony Johnson. And Mr. Johnson, give us your address. Well, when you get to the podium. And then your comment or question.
21369 Evergreen, Southfield. I'm here because I think race is very, very active and viable. And what I mean is, it's something that's needed in the neighborhood. When you are young with children looking for somewhere to live, what's the first place you're going to look for? A school in the area. If brace is gone, what's going to happen? You're going to lose property value. People are going to find other places to go for their children, and maybe not in Southfield or in the Southfield public schools. First of all, there's no public elementary schools in Southfield from Greenfield to Beach, from 8 Mile to 10.5 Mile, which is Adler. I don't think that's really a good idea for the community. You have businesses there that depend on the children and parents to and from school. And as far as enrollment goes, as I said before, Brace has right around over 500. Do the math. And $8,000 per child that the state is paying. It's like $4 million, which accounts for something. And I think that we have a community that really, really is looking forward. As a matter of fact, one of my neighbors spoke to a couple of you about his opinion about Brace. Spoke to you, Dr. Wood, spoke to Mr. Joyce, I'm talking about Mr. Siler. Now, I'll also say that if Brace does close, what's going to happen to the area. And I feel that it could really, we have teachers there and the principal. What a lot of people don't know, that I see, my wife and I, when Miss Lewis is there, while everyone else is either sleeping or on the Saturday, sitting and watching cartoons, I see a little car backed up to the school doing things that everybody else wouldn't do to make it convenient for the other teachers. One more thing, the staff and some parents got together out of their pocket, their dime, their time, and fixed up Grace Valley, painted, hammered, nailed, and a month later, then they were told it's closing. Now, I know that when they said that the building is sold, that was a rumor. A lot of parents left because of that. Some teachers left because of that. I happen to know that it's not what you just confirmed through me speaking to some other people. You and I had a conversation. I think that would be a good idea to keep Grace going for not just the school, but think about the community itself. Because with grandchildren, and we have children that have gone to Grace.
Oldest time.
I guess the topic was so hot that they had to. But I think that.
So you thought that was the end of your time, right?
Yeah. So I think that Grace should stay for a lot of different reasons. Not just because of the student, but like I said, we have some children that came through Grace. One is now studying to be a doctor, one is a registered nurse, one is managing a chain in Atlanta, and another one, well, Ms. Dean knows who I'm talking about, went back got a diploma going to college now. So I think that keeping things on the even keel as they stand, keep Grace open. The community needs it, the students need it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to allow our student reps to take care of some homework, so they're being excused. Study hard.
Right.
Next will be Vanessa Solomon. And Ms. Solomon, once you get to the podium, if you would give us your name and address and your question or comment.
Vanessa Solomon, 21405 Constitution Street, Southfield, Michigan, 48076. My comment is about a letter that we received regarding the letter from Mr. Lopez regarding the students that missed, that didn't have a teacher in algebra for the first few months of the academic year. And the plan is to put them in algebra and geometry next year at the same time. My concern is that my son has math terrors, and the thought of putting him in algebra and geometry at the same time just is not feasible for him. And that's a huge concern for me. And I feel like it'll defeat him as a student next year. So I'm wondering, are there other options maybe, because the letter was basically, this is what's going to happen, and so I have that concern, because it's a thought of, can the students take summer school over the summer as an option, something, but the thought of having him in algebra and geometry next year is just not an option for him.
I value what you shared, and we've had conversation, and providing some options is something that Mr. Lopez will be articulating to our parents and along with Ms. Jackson. So we've had conversation, and I understand, and would you contact Mr. Lopez, and we'll make sure that options are provided.
Okay.
Because we need to, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have. Any other public comments? Would you want one of these?
Oh, no.
You'll give us your name and address, and what's your question or comment would be to the board.
Hello, my name is Gia Jones. I live at 7947 Thornhill Drive. That's actually in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I just wanted to comment, I'm new to the Southfield School District. I just started working about a month ago, actually, through Wayne State with their C2 Pipeline STEM-focused high school enrichment program, after-school program. I'm really excited. I am just learning my way around Southfield and Lathrop right now. But I did want to just say I'm here. I'm really excited to be part of this community and work on engaging and working and building relationships with students, especially wanting to get more information as you all go through this period of transition. Additionally, this summer we will be offering our Wayne State Warriors program, which is a 10-day intensive on-site sleepaway camp for our high school students, where it mimics their first few weeks of their freshman year college experience. And there is also offering for educators a professional development during the summer, which I have additional information if any teachers in the room would like to have about that. I can be reached at gia.jones@wayne.edu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, with that, no more public comments. We move on to board matters. And these are board members that speak on various topics. I'd like to start with Trustee Weiss. Yield. And Trustee Lewis.
No comment.
No comment. Williams? Trustee Charles.
I do have something. You see a couple of pictures that I shared with the superintendent today, which is, like, if you ever go to work, that's cool to go to work and really kind of get drained with your work environment. You know, as soon as you hit the door, it's just like something about the space drains your energy. I look forward to, and I know we're talking Imagine 2020, obviously everything costs money, nobody is saying that this is what's coming, but I certainly want, whether it's our foundation or wealthy people in the community who want to make an impact at the ground level as far as classroom instruction, this is the kind of vision that I think is important. And so one of these schools is in Minnesota with movable walls to change the size of space. Another one's in California. Obviously, we understand they've got high taxes, so they should have some things. But to help out in STEM and environmental sciences. And then another one is dealing with using colors to change. Teachers can change the color scheme of the room at the push of a button on their iPad, or the hue of the classroom, because blue can inspire creativity, just as an example. So you see some of those photos there. So I just thought I'd share that with my board members, because I mean, Imagine 2020 is awesome, but we need to imagine 25, imagine 2030, imagine 2050, unfortunately, and some of us, including myself, may not even get to see it. But that's okay, as long as you've set that brick in place. And then the last two things were just simply that the Department of Ed has come out with a state report about pre-K funding for 2015-2016. And I shared it with the superintendent, and she can disseminate however she sees fit. But it is on the Department of Ed website, where you can just see the national trends and how states are funding preschool. And you might be surprised where Michigan falls. We're not the worst, but I'm certain we're also not the best. And lastly, connecting with hard-to-access families, because I know whether it's fussy or if it's your traditional K-12 institution, sometimes how to connect with families, especially in a world where we live in, where people rarely take time to go to a meeting at a school. So there's an engagement webinar for the Department of Ed as well, and that's on Thursday, February 18th. It's free. All you need to do is just check out, like I said, the Department of Education's website, where you can learn ways from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Thursday the 18th to engage those parents that are sometimes hard to reach in our day and age. Those are my board matters.
Trustee Robinson.
Yes, I just had a few announcements. One in particular involves our Area Council Annual Founders Day, where we acknowledge and award our parents, PTA parents, and faculty members who work closely with the PTA. That banquet will be held on February 23rd at 7 p.m. at the Southfield Shriners on Southfield Road. And the tickets are $30, so we encourage each of you to attend. It's a great banquet. Secondly, I received an email from Mr. Ewick, Dave Ewick, who's director of our Southfield Library. And every year, most of you know we have a ballot of books. And that's a phenomenal program where kids get a chance to read books, elementary and middle school. And they have a competition at the Southfield Library, and it's totally awesome. And encourage our kids to read more books and to have a fun love for reading. But he had mentioned to me that the attendance is dwindling from year to year. They're not getting as many students to participate in the Battle of the Books as they had in the previous years. So I encourage the principals, the teachers, parents to encourage our students to participate in the Battle of the Books. It's a great program. I sponsor kids when I want my kids to school, and you can get boys excited reading, and it's just a great program. So please encourage your students to participate in the Battle of the Books. Thirdly, Saturday, they're also sponsoring the Black Presidency with Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. I don't know how many of you have heard of him, but he is phenomenal. He's also from Detroit.
Right.
He was a protege of Dr. Frederick G. Sampson, who was minister of Tabernacle Church. So he's totally awesome.
That's right.
And he's been on television numerous times, numerous programs. He will be presenting at the library on Saturday. So if you can get a chance, go by and hear him speak. And that's what I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Trustee Robinson. And Dr. Dyson is quite a phenomenal speaker. So if you get a chance, definitely check that out here at the Southfield Public Library. As this board knows, the ones that I've served with the longest know I never let Black History Month get away without making a comment. And this particular year, I'm going to talk about firsts for me for Black History Month. When I was in public school, there was no celebration of Black history, period. There were no Black study courses. Matter of fact, Black History Month was Black History Week. We had 1 week. It was mostly celebrated in the progressive Black churches, progressive Baptist Black churches. For me, I didn't have my first color teacher until I was in the 8th grade, so that's progress. I didn't have my first colored male teacher until I was in high school. And there were 2 people from this community. One, I remember, never forget Mrs. Smart. She was my 8th grade teacher, and she was my first African-American teacher, is how we refer to it today. But she would always give me a look. You always remember how people make you feel. If she wanted us to straighten up, she'd give us that look. If we really did something bad, she'd do this. But this particular year, and I mention it because I recently understood this feeling. She lost her mother in the 8th grade. And I had never seen that look in her face before. And I could only imagine what she was going through. Well, I recently lost my mother. So I understand what that feeling is like. It's a really tough feeling. Dr. Rice, who I had in high school, was a history buff. And I remember everything Dr. Rice had to say. Matter of fact, I think he did Black history on the down low because we never had a sanctioned Black studies course in the school, in the district. Matter of fact, parents were upset that he was teaching that. Even though it was right there in black and white, it just wasn't real clear to us. I really think Dr. Rice was teaching Black history out of the trunk of his car. But those are things we remember from our teachers, because he always said it was important. He always said if we didn't know our history, We never know where we've been, and we never know what kind of progress we've made. So this year, in celebration of Black History Month, I realized, for me, the progress that we've made. Now, of course, we've got Brown versus Board of Education. We've had the Little Rock Nine. We've had the first Black student at the University of Alabama. We all know what that was about, what that was like. So for me, Mrs. Smart, thank you. And Dr. Rice, thank you for what you've given this student. With that, future board meetings, Monday through Friday, February 15th through 19th, winter break. Schools are closed. Offices are closed on February 15th and 19th only. Tuesday, February 16th, 6 o'clock. Student hearings. Trustee Charles, Trustee Robinson, Trustee Joyce, Trustee Lewis. Tuesday, March 8th, 7 o'clock, regular board meeting. And don't forget, Tuesday, March 8th is the Michigan State presidential election. Polls open. Your poll will open at 7 o'clock. If you're in line by 8 p.m., they will allow you to vote. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Properly moved and supported. This meeting of the Southfield Board of Education is now adjourned.